We're always occupied with the external, what we're doing, what we look like, and who we're with. And in our day-to-day, we obsess over our future, we fixate on our memories or regrets, and our mind gets caught up in all the problems, the worries, and the things we have to get done that day. It's a constant build-up of all these thoughts, distractions, and noise.
So sitting comfortably, just taking a big deep breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth.
In today's video, I'll be telling you about my brutally honest experience with meditating for the past year. In a nutshell, no, it didn't change my life, and no, I didn't do it for hours at a time. But what I did do is that I did it consistently, every single day, whether it was 2 minutes or 15 minutes. And this small practice has now compounded over time, and it genuinely helps me de-stress, it helps me get out of my head and think about the bigger picture a lot faster in so many different situations. But it wasn't always like this. There were a lot of ups and downs, and I wanted to share my experience with you. My entire life, I've never been the sort of person to even think about doing something like meditation. I guess the logical nerd in me always thought that I didn't need it. I'm doing pretty alright. I'm very blessed. So why would I bother wasting my time doing basically nothing when I could be doing something important or at the very least entertaining? The truth is, this was more of an excuse than a reason. It's not like I didn't care about my mental health. It's just that working on it is not as straightforward as improving something like your physical health. You go to the gym, you clean up your diet, and you see immediate returns on your investment. Whereas with this, you don't see any major changes in your daily life. It's all very circumstantial. And because of that, we end up giving it zero priority. But all of a sudden, we had to sit there and pause.
The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for
declaring
decades.
a national emergency.
There was a pandemic going on in the world. Our entire lives got shifted online, and we've now spent the majority of the past year inside our room. And as much as you fill your day up with distractions, when you're isolated at that scale, you just start thinking a lot more, and you get absorbed in your own world. You have to face your real fears, your griefs, and any anxious thoughts that you've suppressed because you were busy. For me, I just gotten accepted into medical school. This was an incredible accomplishment. I'd been working on this so hard for the last 2 years. So trust me, I was ecstatic for a few days. Now that I'd accomplished this goal, I was a bit lost with the direction I wanted to take. I didn't really know how I should best use my time and what I should be investing it in. And for that reason, I started to get really hard on myself about being productive. I got this gut-wrenching feeling every time I felt like I didn't do enough that day. And I know I'm not alone. So many of us put this pressure on ourselves. We give into it. And this led me to my first lesson. Don't make the assumption that your mental health isn't something that needs attention. I made this assumption for a long time because I thought that I really didn't need help with my mental health. But the truth is, we all do. You don't just go to the gym and eat clean when you get diagnosed with a heart condition. You do this all to stay fit, to stay healthy, and maintain a good body. So why not treat your mind the same way? Just because you don't have a mental illness or disorder doesn't mean you shouldn't be working on it and trying to improve it with healthy practices. And around this time, one of my friends brought up meditation again. We talked about it before a lot in our group, so after a bit of convincing, we decided that we would do this as an experiment. We'd try it out, we'd keep each other accountable, and do this. Yes. Breathe in, breathe out. So, what are you doing right now? Why are you wasting time? Shh. Relax. You should really be revising. Not right now. It was this constant back and forth of thoughts coming up in my head and me trying to force myself to relax. But even from a 10-minute meditation, I realized that this was the first time that I noticed the clutter in my mind, the racing thoughts, and the amount of harsh voices in there. But before we go any further, let's quickly look at what meditation actually is. I know there's so many types, but from what I understand, the easiest thing to do is to bring your attention back to the present. You close your eyes, focus on your breath, and practice noticing every time your mind gets distracted. And every time you do get distracted, you just try to bring your attention back to your breath. It isn't about relaxing. It isn't about not thinking at all, because even when you're not thinking, you're thinking about not thinking, so it's impossible. It's about observing everything that comes up, noticing the thought patterns. It's this weird balance of not diving too deep into your thoughts, but also not suppressing them. Of applying effort, but not too much of it. Of being accepting, but not ignoring things. It does take a while to fully wrap your head around this. But at the end of it, it is really simple, and the more you meditate, the more you become in tune with your thoughts. One of the biggest dangers in meditation is the pursuit of perfect experiences. Humans look for quick fixes, shortcuts. That's just who we are, and that's the mistake I made with this. And I was looking to meditation as a solution for all my problems, as a cure, when that's just not how it is. And because of this, after the first few times of me meditating, I just felt incredibly underwhelmed because I didn't get that perfect feeling of calm that apparently you're supposed to get. Sometimes you feel frustrated, sometimes you feel sleepy, sometimes you may even get bored. For a long time, meditating every day wasn't making more than a surface level difference to my day. I'd do it, I'd feel good for the next hour, and then I'd revert back to my old mood. But I thought, you know what? I started this off as an experiment. I'm gonna push through, believe in the process. If there's any time to instill positive habits into my daily life, it's now. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's never going to be a tight feedback loop of you doing meditation and then immediately getting good vibes, feeling really good. Sometimes you'll feel worse after. Sometimes it won't feel natural. Sometimes you'll feel like you've unearthed more negative thoughts from it than anything else. That's normal. But all of the thoughts that you start thinking about are the things that were already there. You're just bringing them to the surface of your mind. I don't think many of us truly accept and embrace the fact that things like frustration, being stressed, having anxiety, and feeling sad are all very normal. They're always things that are going to be out of your control. So these thoughts, they're inevitable. But what is in our control is our reaction to those things. And by focusing our meditation on that, that's what really will make the difference. You need to rely on your systems, and if you do it daily, it'll have an impact. Just like anything else, something good will come of it. At the end of it, you have to remember that habits like meditation are like filling a bucket. You fill it one drop at a time. And every time you meditate, you put a few drops in it. And it's slow, but gradually, before you even realize, you'll end up with a full bucket. You'll get out of your own head. You'll start to think of the bigger picture a lot more. And you'll stop getting as stressed about the day-to-day, your past, your future, or any of your worries in general. If there's one piece of advice that I want to leave you with, is that always think about your meditation from a beginner's point of view. Always think about yourself as an amateur. By having this mindset, you're much more open to learn, to fail, for the meditation to go bad, and for you to still not judge yourself on that. Oh, and if you can, get one of your friends involved in this as well. It's so much more fun when you can talk about stuff like this to someone. You don't feel as alone when doing it, and you're much more likely to stay consistent as well. I hope that after watching this video, you consider including this simple practice into your daily life. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, subscribe for more content in the future, and as always, I'll see you next week. Bye bye.